It's another beautiful day in Tempe, Arizona, and it's time for another edition of Sun Devil Extra. Braiden Bell alongside the Arizona State Athletic Director Graham Rossini here at Mullet Arena today, checking out the hockey program and obviously a lot of excitement surrounding this program, specifically right now before the season starts, this brand new hallway, which will show off as the show goes on. Graham, how you doing?
Hey, I like that. We're taking this road trip seriously.
We are.
3 shows and 3 buildings in 3 weeks.
We're on a hot streak.
Bring it to the people.
And we're going to continue on with the hot streak of people that come on this show and they do really well. More on that in a moment. But first, we'll dive into talking about Sun Devil football and the week that was and the week to come, a trip down south to Mississippi State. Graham, we talked about it last week. It was going to be a tough challenge on the road against an SEC team and went down to the final minute, of course. Unfortunately, a 24-20 loss at the hands of the Bulldogs. But a great fight by ASU. I know there are no such thing as moral victories, but after being down 17-0, ultimately took the lead 20-17 and then just couldn't quite pull it out of the end.
Yeah, I thought it was a really entertaining game, really incredible atmosphere down in Starkville. It was fun to be a part of, and fell a few plays short. And I think the benefit of that situation is you learn a lot about your team in moments like that. And I know the coaches are hard at work using kind of how the game played out, but proud of the resolve, proud of the fight, proud of how they got back in that game, and how fun to watch that second half. Just that progression and getting back into it, briefly taking the lead. But fun atmosphere to be a part of, and despite the result, we had a good trip, and we'll get back at it this week.
And I think after a couple of days after this game, hopefully fans at home watching this right now, you've come back down to earth as well, because championships aren't won in September, right? It doesn't matter what happens in the big picture. Obviously, you want to win every game. That's not what I'm saying. But a loss against Mississippi State is not going to define this entire season. And I think Coach Dillingham summed that up nicely after the game, and then also in his Monday presser before Texas State to talk about, this could be a building block, if anything else, to try to overcome a tough loss.
Yeah, I mean, we all wanted to win the game, right? And we know the fan base wanted to win that game as well. And you win a game on the road like that, and it just continues to kind of catapult this momentum. But nothing changes last weekend as a result of our goals, our focus, the opportunities in front of us. We got to regroup this week. We had a really good Texas State team coming in here, but I know the coaches can use those moments, but at the same time, there's a lot of positive takeaways. And even talking to Coach yesterday morning, earlier in the week, he said, I feel better about our team this week than I did last week, just based on we got to see more guys, how guys performed in that atmosphere, the fact that the team was down at the half and started really making some adjustments, allowed them to get back in it in the second half. And so those are all positive takeaways. And it's so early in the year, too soon to know what the season's going to really be like, but it's all in front of us, and using the moments where it reveals some things that you want to tighten up or that you want to reinforce as a coaching staff is only a positive. So yes, we want to win that game. It stings the way you lose on the final play. It's a heartbreaker. You kind of still feel that in your stomach. I feel it today. But these guys have turned the page, and they have to. And that's the reality of we got a lot coming at us here in a few days against a really good opponent, joining this new version of the Pac-12 here in the not too distant future. And we need to be ready for them at 7:30 on Saturday.
We'll get to Texas State in a moment, but you mentioned some of those new guys that did step up against Mississippi State, one of them being Kanye Udo, and really the entire rushing attack was unbelievable against Mississippi State in that second half. The stats in that, they ran it 51 times in the game for 279 yards. Right. Raleek Brown with 112 yards. He continued to look explosive, obviously, in the running game. And then Kanye, as we said, 110 yards. And that final drive, I know it's kind of outshined now because of, unfortunately, how the game ended. Yeah. But you start inside your opponent's 5-yard line. You run the ball down there, throw it all the way to the goal line at the other end. Couldn't quite punch it in the end zone, but it was a statement drive that I think the running back stable, the offensive line, the offense as a whole, they can build off of that.
Yeah, it was disappointing that Sip got hurt early in the game, getting a chance to go back home and play in front of family. It was cool when we got off the plane Friday night. He had a whole cheering section at the airport, a lot of family and friends that were there to welcome him back to Mississippi. He's from Tupelo, so it was cool that we were staying in his hometown. And disappointed that he came out early, but again, the silver lining is that Raleek continues to progress. He continues to show that he's going to be able to compete at a very high level. And then for Kanye Udo to get a look in some game time. And there's just something that you saw last weekend where it feels like when the lights are brightest, Kanye shows up and really performs. He's been solid since he got here, but when those competitive juices really get going in game action, man, what a lot of fun to watch him in action last weekend. Yeah,
it's a three-headed monster in the running back room. You're exactly right. It was a bummer about Kyson, but to have two backups, if you will, or two guys behind you, I don't even want to call them backups because they're all 1A, 1B, 1C, I would say. Yeah. But to have those big horses in the stable, it's really impressive. Okay, now on to Texas State. A game last year that was a dogfight to the very end, 31-28. In Texas, it was a short week. Ultimately, ASU won that game, and it was a big win. But this is a team that, fans might not be really familiar with Texas State, but as you said, they're joining the Pac-12 next year, and they've got a really good football team coming in here on Saturday.
Yeah, they're gunning for us. I saw a few things on their social media today. It's hate week in San Marcos, and they're kind of calling their fans and their students to rally around the trip to Tempe, but they'll be good. We saw them last year. That was a really kind of tight game back and forth, and kind of created some separation at the end. We know that they're fired up to be in our environment in front of a great ASU crowd and show the nation what they're building at Texas State. And we're ready for that challenge. It'll be a fun game as well. And so excited for another great turnout that we're expecting. Another really strong student section expected here this Saturday, and another really good test to kind of get a few things in motion and use it as opportunity to kind of rebound, win the game, and then propel ourselves into Big 12 play, which you look up and it starts next week already.
Wild. 7:30 kick against Texas State. It's the Maroon Monsoon, so be sure to wear your maroon. And TNT. I was going to ask you about that. TNT or streaming on Max, so you've got a couple different avenues there. That's a great partnership for the Big 12. Brand new this year for football. It's really important.
Yeah, and we actually had a Big 12 AD call earlier today, and they've done 2 games so far in the conference, and the feedback's been terrific. I mean, the production value has been really good. The crews are on site all week at practice, doing interviews, really kind of studying not only the team, but also the fan base. And so it's been really exciting to kind of see them step into this. They lost the NBA, and so they've really identified college football as a priority for the network, and we're going to benefit from that. Our fans are going to benefit from that. Chance we'll have multiple football and basketball games on TNT over the course of the season, and they're one of the best networks out there. And so it'll be really fun this week to see their welcome to college football, their first trip into Tempe, and excited to have that available for our fans this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Should be a really great exposure moment for the football program, as well as hopefully a bounce-back performance against Texas State as well. On now to volleyball. The 9th-ranked Sun Devils finally at home last weekend after they started the season as Road Warriors, and we documented what they've done so far this year. J.J. Van Neal's squad, they have been phenomenal, but a very impressive weekend. 4-set win over FGCU, a sweep over Loyola Marymount over the weekend, and just good times keeping on for the volleyball squad through the start of their year and to kick off the home schedule. Yeah,
nice to have them back home. The past couple of years they've had a lot of road trips early on, getting into these tournaments elsewhere, and non-conference home games have eluded us, so it was really fun to be able to get them back against 2 really good programs. Florida Gulf Coast is a perennial tournament team in volleyball. LMU's got a lot of talent, obviously, in LA and Southern California, so they've got a really good recruiting hotbed around that campus, and our 2 best players are hurt. And so when you go up against veteran established programs that have been in the tournament without your 2 best players, it was really neat to see the outcomes and really convincing wins. I know first set's kind of a little bit back and forth, but creating some separation as both games got a little bit deeper, and two big weekends or 2 big wins on the weekend, and also a chance to kind of celebrate the history of the program with Regina Stahl and Christy Knorr getting recognized as part of the volleyball weekend. So a lot of fun there. Big test for them back on the road this weekend with some of the Texas schools, Texas State included, and then getting into Austin to play UT, and then getting back home next week.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Maybe it's hate week for us too, Texas State. We're going there for volleyball, so maybe.
Hey, we got them in soccer so far. We got to get them in volleyball this week. We got to get them in football, and
let's go for a sweep.
Keep it going.
Yeah, let's go 3 for 3 in all 3 of those sports. But yes, Texas State coming up this weekend, and then Friday against Incarnate Word in a neutral site match, and then a big one against number 2 Texas coming up Sunday, another national TV game, ESPN2, noon locally. So another great exposure moment for the volleyball program. That's their 3rd national TV game already.
And actually, Commissioner Yormark pointed that out on our call today. We had almost 700,000 viewers for the Penn State game on Fox, which is an incredible number. If any of you follow media ratings and what that means for the exposure, that rivals a lot of football games on a weekend. And so terrific for our volleyball program to get that national exposure and perform at a high level in front of a national TV audience. And the Big 12 is starting to sense that we've got really something special in our conference related to volleyball, and looking at more ways to continue to build the brand of volleyball in our conference and showcase these incredible young women and coaches that represent the Big 12.
Yeah, you mentioned Big 12 volleyball. Plenty of ranked teams, none higher than number 9 ASU at the moment, and a chance to climb the rankings again. They already beat number 2 Penn State. Chance to beat another 2nd-ranked team this weekend as they take on the Longhorns. Now, finally, the final bit here in segment number 1 with Graham here. We'll talk soccer. And I mentioned at the top of the show, if you come on the program, good things happen. It happened with volleyball in our first episode. It happened this weekend as well. Graham Winkworth picked up win number 250, so congratulations to the coach. And then how about Izzy Monk, who was our student athlete guest last week? She scored the game-winning goal.
How about it?
Against Denver. So we were 2 for 2 last weekend.
And I think she's got interest in getting into broadcasting at some point.
She should. She was very well spoken.
How about that? It's good to know. Yeah, really, really proud of Coach Winkworth. Just continues to get out the gates really strong this season. Excited for his program. You know, a lot of returning players, but also a lot of really key additions to the roster. And it's nice to see them out the gate still undefeated. You know, him celebrating his 250 win. There's a great graphic that we'll try to get up on the show. Sean can work his magic as he always does. Some cool B-roll of Coach getting the Powerade shower right after the win as well. And just, I think what was cool for me, I wasn't at the game on Sunday, but seeing some of the coverage of just how happy his team was and how proud they were for their coach to get that milestone win. I mean, 250 wins in any sport is incredible. It just shows that he's had a long career. He's still a young guy. I think we're close in age, so he's still a young guy. He has a great name, obviously, but 250 wins out the gate, it just really tells you, I mean, he's been a head coach for a long time, and he got the chance to do that at a young age. He continues to get better. His program continues to evolve, and so really happy. I know he's deflecting the credit to the team and the program, as he should, but really don't want to miss the chance to say congrats to Coach. And nice that he was on the show last week, and like you mentioned, good things happen to those who join the show with us each week.
You sit on this chair, good things happen for sure. And he got to see his favorite band, Oasis, in concert.
That's right. What a week.
He mentioned that to us off air before the interview last week. He was very excited about it. And then he obviously got to celebrate win number 250 by seeing Oasis in the Valley. So that was pretty cool. But yes, you mentioned football non-conference almost being over. Same for soccer. They've only got one more, and that's this weekend against UTEP.
That's right.
Friday night, 7 o'clock. That'll be senior day, alumni day, so a lot going on there at Sun Devil Soccer Stadium, so be sure to go out there Friday night. But then, conference season starts right after that, so we're almost here.
And it's cool, you mentioned alumni night and senior night, and those are important moments to celebrate, but it also shows you that this team is thinking about some bigger outcomes late in the season. And so normally your senior night, you wait for the last home game of the year to do it. Sometimes it's post-game, and it can be a little awkward. And so I think it's a really good fit to do senior night and the alumni celebration together. It's the 30th anniversary of our soccer program, so that's a really important milestone that we'll get a chance to welcome back letter winners from all generations in the soccer program, and make sure our seniors can kind of savor these final months of their final season, but make sure that they're able to kind of lock in once that Big 12 season starts and really kind of keep their eyes on getting to TCU to compete in the conference tournament and get back in the NCAA tournament on the back end of that. So excited for Friday.
Yeah, 6-0-1 start for women's soccer. Hopefully they continue that and close out non-conference this weekend. Okay, football, volleyball, soccer, we've covered that all. Now, why are we here at Mullet Arena? Well, for a couple of reasons. We've got a very exciting interview coming up in a moment, but also we're showing off this brand new hallway that is very, very cool. It's one of those things, you walk down it, you feel like I'm in a big-time program, right? Yeah. Brand new addition to Mullet Arena, and a really nice job they did with this.
Yeah, this is a big-time program, and a lot of credit to Coach Powers for having the vision, incredible attention to detail, really, really mindful of telling the story of where this program was. I'm sure we'll show at some point the Oceanside era and the incredible tributes that are here for that, but also, in a short decade, the quality of player that's come in the program. We've got NHL athletes, we have NHL draft picks with obviously Cullen on the show today, and then a number of players that are competing in professional, been all conference, all American, et cetera. So it's a really good showcase of the program. I think they did an incredible job with this branding. And it's a really nice testament to what this program has already accomplished, knowing that they're very hungry and motivated to keep building it and only do more.
I can't skate at all, but it has me wanting to go out on the ice.
It's got kind of a cool little Midwest, hockey barn feel to it.
Yeah.
We got some wood in here. We got some cool lighting. We got some great action shots. So it'll be cool to show the viewers a little bit of a snapshot of what this all looks like.
It's awesome.
Not a bad place to come every day, right?
Heck no. Well, and then you walk outside, you get the palm trees. And that's the cool part about this right behind us. You got the palm walk.
That's right.
There is not another hockey program in America that can put palm trees right next to the word hockey.
Well, I think we offer everything. We've got great coaches that have coached and played the game at the highest level throughout this coaching staff. The best barn in the country, the best conference in the country, now that we're in the NCHC, and put all that together with the ASU engine and everything that this university can offer, including weather. If you're a hockey player, where else do you want to be?
Right.
So come join us.
Well, and if you're a fan, you want to get to meet the new team or see the new team, you have the opportunity to do that this weekend. So season won't get going until October 3rd. That's against Penn State, which will be a massive opening game. We'll talk about that when it gets closer, of course. But this weekend, there's an open practice on Saturday. So before football, as we said, kickoff's at 7:30 there. 3:15 open practice right here. That's free if you want to come watch the Sun Devil hockey team practice. And then at 4:30 over at Nova's Place, you can meet and greet the Sun Devil hockey squad. So that's going to be a really cool event. Obviously, come out, bring your kids or your friends and family, whoever it may be, if you want to watch a hockey practice. Nice air-conditioned building, of course, and then you can meet and greet at 4:30 before football.
Yeah, I mean, really, the Novus Place continues to be an incredible addition to game days, and you kind of got the benefit of it towards the tail end of last hockey season. But this is the first fall with football, and then going into basketball and hockey season with all the new restaurants there at Novus Place. And for anybody who's unfamiliar, it's really a connection of Lot 59. So it's right here as a part of the athletic facility district. Unbelievable restaurants. We've got Italian, we've got sushi, we've got Mexican, we've got fresh food. There's some ice cream shops coming in. Starbucks is there as well. So really a little something for everybody. And the benefit is you come and park for the football game or the hockey game. It's a quick walk to get over to Novus Place. Unbelievable amenities, and it's really been an incredible addition to our game day. But it's busy every day. You try to get into there for lunches during the week or on the weekend for a fun night out. Novus Place has become a great place to be here in Tempe, and so what a great advantage and asset for us to use at ASU. And it'll be really fun this Saturday to come early before the 7:30 game, a little later kick than normal, but come enjoy some hockey, come enjoy some great hospitality at Novus Place, and then head over to Mountain America Stadium at 7:30.
If I were to map it out, I'd go watch the open practice for hockey, then I'd go grab a bite, and go meet the team.
Yep.
Maybe go grab a beverage or something, not suggesting anything.
Where are you going to eat? Where's your first stop?
So I went to Blanco before the NAU game, so I would not go to Blanco again. Maybe a North Italian moment.
Okay.
I'm an Italian food guy. What about you?
Yeah, North is sentimental for me. My first date with my now wife was at North in Phoenix, and so when North came to campus, I'm like, all right, this is a good omen.
Yeah.
But I'm a little eager. So Salt and Straw is not yet open. Ice cream concept. A lot of people may have had it elsewhere. That's going to be dangerous. A lot of our coaches are nervous because a lot of our athletes live right in the Novus Innovation Corridor. And so that's maybe an unhealthy cheat day treat. That'll be on location here pretty soon. But I'll join you at North. Okay. That's a good spot.
Well, yeah, now it's sentimental. I don't know if I am worthy of joining you there. But olive oil ice cream at Salt and Straw.
Ooh.
Sounds weird. I recommend it when it opens up. Cullen Potter is our guest today as we try to mend things back to being where we're supposed to be. And boy, what an awesome guest. He'll be joining us in just a moment. First round draft pick of the Calgary Flames and obviously a Sun Devil hockey alumni. He can speak to the greatness of this program, the potential to come, and also what we can expect from him in the NHL. He'll join us when we come back. Welcome back to Sun Devil Extra, and it's time for our guest of the day. And we've had a bunch of really cool guests on this show. We've been very lucky to be joined by coaches, student athletes, but we have yet to be joined by a first-round draft pick of his or her respective sport. Here's Cullen Potter from Arizona State Hockey, first-round draft pick of the Calgary Flames this past June. First off, Cullen, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, of course. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
So congratulations. What a summer it was. I think I ask our student athletes on this show, how was your summer so many times? I think I know the answer to the question for you, but how was it, man? That's got to be something that you dreamed of for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'll say is just extremely busy. Just like, combine and the draft and camps and all that stuff. It was really busy, but I mean, it was like you said, a dream come true. You've worked your whole life to get to this point, so it was a really fun summer, but it was definitely busy for sure.
Draft night in Los Angeles. You're sitting there. Pick number 32 is there. Final pick of the first round. I know Sun Devil fans were hoping to hear your name called. Obviously, you're there. You get the call. Take me through that moment. What was it like?
I said this right after I got drafted. It's kind of just like a speechless moment. I think, a lot of kids say that, and it really is. Like I said, you've worked your whole life to get to that moment, and then for it to finally happen and, it to be passed is just like, you're just so excited. Like, you don't even know what to say. So, I had a lot of fun that night, and, saw all of my friends get drafted, and it was a really cool experience to see, growing up playing against kids, and now we're drafted in the NHL, so it's a really cool experience.
Do you even remember walking on stage, or is that just like?
Yeah, no, I definitely remember walking on stage.
Okay,
that was cool,
good.
But I mean, so many eyes on you, you kind of just blank out. You're up there smiling. I mean, it's just pure joy.
Really awesome stuff, and I think it was a historic moment, obviously, for this program, and something that we'll talk about around here for a very long time. Let's talk about your first year in Tempe, though, as a Sun Devil. 13 goals, 22 points, and 35 games played. And obviously, those stats are great, but this was a team that made strides the first year obviously with you in the maroon and gold. So when you look back on that first year under Greg Powers and in this program, what can you kind of reflect on?
I think the biggest thing is just the growth throughout the year. Coming as a 17-year-old in college hockey, it's hard, especially in the NCHC. It's a strong, fast league. So, I was lucky enough to have a lot of older guys on the team last year. So I think they definitely showed me the way a little bit. And, like I said, throughout the year, I feel like you could definitely see how I, improved my game in a lot of areas. So, I had a really fun year, and, I wish we would have gone further. But, I still think we had a great year. And, this year coming up, I'm really excited for the opportunity.
You mentioned some of those older guys, Sillinger and Schlein being a couple for sure, fifth-year guys that were able to kind of take you under their wing, I should say, and guide you through that first year. How big was that for you?
Yeah, it was huge. Just having guys, tell you what to do in certain moments and, help me just not stay down on myself because, like I said, coming as a 17-year-old, you're not going to succeed right away or, be amazing right away, but just, the constant support from not only the players but the coaching staff too, just super helpful down the line in the season.
Obviously, we're not quite there yet, but I'm sure you've thought about this, especially over the last couple of months. But when you're on, NHL ice, whenever that time does come, how cool is that going to be to rep, especially ASU, right? Obviously, we've got a couple of guys, Joey Decord, Josh Doan, that are already up there making a big name in the league, but to rep a new program, be the tradition right behind us on this wall here, and you're one of those, first names that we're getting to see not only drafted in the first round, being the first of that, but an NHL player in general. How cool is that going to be?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I still got a long way to go.
Sure.
And, a lot of things to improve on, but, to just have the opportunity to maybe one day be able to step out on the ice is really cool. So I'm really excited to, see what I can do this year and, hopefully play for the Flames one day.
You mentioned things to improve on, and obviously, off season is right in the thick of it, but the season just around the corner now. What are some of those things that you really tried to highlight this year on and improving?
I think the biggest thing is just, being physical and, like I said, if I want to play in the NHL, I need to improve on things, and that's definitely one of them. NHL is a lot of big, old, strong guys, so I got to hold my own there and just scoring in general too. Offensively, just, continue to work on, bearing on the chances I have and, with my speed stopping and starting too. But I think, like I said, I got better at all of those things down the line this past season. So just continue to improve on it this season. I think, I always improve, throughout the season. So
Sure.
I'm really excited for the season.
So as you just said, you improved as the year went on, and I think, fans could see that, right? The growth, the maturity level of getting used to the speed of college hockey. Was there a moment, maybe last season, whether it was a game, a practice, a time of the season, where you were like, okay, I think I've gotten this up to speed a bit more now?
I think the biggest turning point was probably when we swept Denver at Denver. Just playing against them, I was super excited to go and national champions, undefeated, just going in there, I just wanted to, kill them, honestly. And luckily, we went in there, we played really well, we swept them. So I think from that point on, I really had a lot of confidence in myself and in the group of guys too. So past that point, I just think I just kept improving more and more and more. Especially, I think, Western Michigan probably could have been my best weekend of the year. And, that was also another team I was really looking forward
Sure.
to play. They're one of the best teams in the country. So, I think I step up in big moments and, I'm really excited for, Penn State this opener.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome in early October, and we talk about that with Graham as well in the first segment. But I'm curious, you mentioned Denver, and I'm glad you did, because sometimes when you enter a new conference, you don't necessarily have set rivals. There are some, new moments of familiarity that have to be acquired. Seems like you guys became acquainted pretty quickly. There's no love lost now between ASU and Denver. What were those matchups like?
Intense. They're a really fast, skilled team. I think we were too last year, so we had a really good matchup against them. And I guess I just heard a lot about the team playing them in past years too. Yeah. So I think they're definitely, maybe a new conference, but there's still some blood in the water, you could say. So like I said, I was just super excited to play them, and playing against other guys like Booyam and stuff. I was, he's in the NHL now, so being able to play against like that is a really cool experience as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that playing against Denver in years past. The flame was already lit, but then when you join a conference and you play each other even more, it's like you put lighter fluid on it. So it became very, very intense. Moving on to this year's roster, obviously a couple of Team USA guys that are coming in and joining the fold with you, Ben and Lincoln. that are going to be big names to monitor, and obviously you're familiar with them. What should fans expect from those two guys specifically?
Yeah, Ben's just a really skilled forward. I love playing with him. Moves the puck well, can score, put the puck in the net. So, and Link's just a good, lockdown, solid defender. So, I've grown up playing against them and playing with them. So it's really cool to have the opportunity to play with them here.
This is Cullen Potter is a guy that obviously is very talented on the ice, but he might be the second best hockey player in his family. I'm sure you've heard this many times, but if you don't know, if you're unfamiliar, his mom might be the GOAT, probably is the GOAT, right? Team USA hockey on the women's side. Unbelievable stuff. We'll take you through some of the stats here. 4 Olympic medals, all-time leading scorer for Team USA on the women's side of things. So I'm curious, and your dad's obviously also involved in the game a lot. Earliest hockey memory, do you have one?
I think just the main thing I think about is just going to the outdoor rinks, honestly, with both my parents. That's probably my favorite thing to do in the whole world. Growing up in Minnesota, hockey's, a huge thing there, sure. The state of hockey. So just going out to outdoor rinks, playing pickup and, just passing around with my parents is probably one of the earliest memories I have. And, like I said, it's my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
That's pretty cool, and your passion is also something you excel at, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's something that you're lucky enough to have. One more thing in terms of the family dynamic, and I know your parents are really close. They come to pretty much every game, right?
Yeah, they came to most games last year. Yeah,
okay, so when a good game happens, a bad game happens, what's that conversation like with your parents after?
I'm a lot older now, so I think they've definitely, leaned back a little bit more now. It's all up to me. But like conversations here and there, like, you could have held on to the puck a little bit more here. And, they're my parents, but, they also know hockey really well. So, just little comments here and there, but, I'm the one driving the boat and, they know that. So they just let me play and, what they've taught me before in my life, they know I know how to play. So, it's pretty easy to have them in my life and have them be able to tell me some things and, let some things go too. So I'm just super thankful to have them in my life.
Yeah, it's really awesome that you get to experience that. I'm sure you've heard this stat in the last one for you. Now, with your draft pick being in the first round by Calgary, ASU now has produced first-round draft pick in the NHL, obviously, MLB, NFL, NBA, and WNBA. So 5 major sports in America. We have a first-round draft pick in all of them. But specifically with this program, right, and the growth, we talked about this hallway being brand new, and this building obviously being first class. How high is the ceiling for this program?
I don't think there really is a ceiling. Like, they have everything here that you could ever want in the program, facility-wise, campus-wise, schooling-wise. There really is no ceiling, I don't think, and I think you kind of can see that just from where the program started to now and how fast they've grown. This place can be, one of the strongest teams in college hockey every single year. I think starting last year, we already are, and years before that. So I think just from there, it's just going to keep getting better.
Statement in year 1 of the NCHC hopefully carries over into year 2 and a big year to come for this guy especially. Cullen, thanks a lot for joining us today, man. And obviously a great first year, a great summer for you, but I know you're ready to get going in this season as well.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap things up with Graham Rossini when we come back on Sun Devil Extra. Back to close up shop here at Mullet Arena, rejoined by Graham Rossini, the athletic director here at Arizona State. I'm Braiden Bell, the host of Sun Devil Extra. And big thank you again to Cullen Potter for joining us on the program. Awesome stuff from him. Can't wait to watch him play coming up this season in the NHL.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch him last year in his freshman campaign, and then I remember watching the draft in the office. We had a fun group text going on with Scott Nelson, Coach Powers, myself, a few others. We're just kind of sweating it out towards the end of the first round. And my introduction to hockey was oddly through the Calgary Flames and Lanny Van Eman. And so the fact that Lanny was up there to announce Cullen as the first round pick was pretty cool. And a lot of excitement on that group text, and really happy for Cullen and his family.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Awesome guy as well. Just can't wait to see him perform. Okay, moving on now in the rest of our show today. We kind of hinted at this towards the tail end of the show that there were some new football uniforms coming, and you did a nice job of kind of exciting people but not totally giving it away. Well, these are now available. They were released on social media yesterday. So there's the football jersey.
Yeah.
This is the Adidas strategy uniform, obviously honoring the 1975 team.
Yep.
The shoulder's the coolest part to me.
Yeah, vintage Sparky on the shoulder. Bring Sparky back. We hear you. You never left. We got Sparky loud and clear. We've got a cool hat that's going to have that on it as
Okay.
well. We've got the T-shirt you
Yeah.
mentioned. There's some hoodies coming as well. So
Dry fit material on this.
I
This is nice.
bought this yesterday. This is kind of a shameless plug show. We're talking about Nova's Place and restaurants. We're promoting the bookstore.
It is your show. I mean, it's kind of the point, right?
Sign of the times.
No, but this is an awesome pickup. I think they'll probably be flying off the shelves pretty quickly. Really nice material too.
Yeah.
The sleeves here, that's genuine stitched on there. The numbers, everything. So
Yeah, it's really cool. The vintage, kind of the off-white colors is a really nice nod to the 75 era of uniform design. And I know we normally would wear white on the road, but we did a maroon throwback for this team, I think 10 years ago when we recognized them. And so nice to be able to take an alternate look at it. And, shout out to Adidas, our partner that continues to be incredible. This has been about 2 years in the makings. They went back through old video footage, old photos, really kind of a meticulous attention to detail to make sure they got it right. And so we got the first sample of this last spring. And
Okay.
I can't wait to show this off. And so we're not wearing it until mid-October, but there was kind of a lot of demand in retail for ASU jerseys, and so they were able to speed it up and get it on campus here this week. And so excited that's out there. I don't think we've announced the helmet decal quite yet, but that's coming soon. It'll be vintage inspired as well, and very on point for what the team would have worn there. So really excited to have it out, and early response from the fans has been really good.
yeah, I'd say I love them. The T-shirt's great, and then like you said, a hat coming out with this logo. I think that'll be
Yep.
a big hit as well. And then one other uniform to come potentially.
One more in the hopper. It's
Okay.
somewhere on campus.
Again.
Nobody's yet to find it, amazingly enough.
If you are a loyal viewer of the program, last week Graham said, maybe I'll show you. And then he ran off right after, so I'm going to hassle him after the show.
Okay.
Make sure I can see that final uniform today. Moving on now to golf talk, and it's always good to talk golf, right?
Yeah.
And what a start for the number 6 men's golf team as they got going and won the Sahili Players Championship back-to-back years
Right.
of winning that tournament. A lot of new faces on this program this year with a couple of big names leaving, but here they are again, winning early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a program that just reloads. They don't rebuild, they reload. It's just a pipeline of talent. And I think, golf, among all our programs, success breeds success. And the fact that they just year after year get guys into pro golf, get guys into deep runs at the NCAA tournament, it just attracts more talent. And we've got what we think is the best coaching staff in America on both the men's and the women's side. We've had good continuity on the men's side. We made a great hire with a new assistant on the women's side under Missy. But they're really proud of both programs, and just for the men's team to get out the gate so strong this weekend was awesome to see. And back-to-back tournament cup champs there, and new faces really kind of stepping up to be leaders of the program, as you mentioned, with Preston and Jose moving on to pro golf. But they've reloaded, they're ready, and it's kind of crazy that golf season's back upon us.
It's awesome, and it's also back upon us on the women's side as well. You mentioned Missy; they're currently underway in Minnesota as we speak. So good luck to them. Obviously, we'll have the updates on that on next week's show after they finish up that tournament. And then also women's tennis getting underway in San Francisco this week. So you had that first batch of fall sports get going a couple of weeks ago. Now you're getting the golf, the tennis. Obviously cross country is getting going. Same with triathlon. They're already going as well. So it's a really busy time on campus. Very exciting.
And we get pinged every couple of days from the new roster declaration, the cap system that's managing these new roster caps that we have in all of our sports. And so a sign of the times, but you're right, when you get that prompt of we got 2 days to declare rosters and make sure that everything's uploaded in the system, it just reinforces that point that we're in mid-September already. A lot of sports underway, more sports around the corner. Hockey, obviously, here in a few weeks on October 3rd. And so what a fun time of year.
Yeah, sweater weather's coming. Wouldn't be a show if we didn't mention it. Last thing of the show, and it's our favorite tradition on Sun Devil Extra. It's time for Sun Devil for Life of the Week. I think I have a pretty good guess of where you're going this week, Graham, but let's see if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, we shout out to Brock Osweiler.
There we go.
He's becoming a great friend, unbelievable Sun Devil, Super Bowl champ, Sun Devil legend, and it was nice he got the call at Mississippi State, so he was able to travel with us on Friday on the team plane, and then spend some more time with him Friday night. He came to our donor dinner, which was always great, just because he's such a great personality. He's got so many cool stories, and really valued his ASU experience. And so it's nice when a guy that's gone on to have success in the NFL and now having great success in business and broadcasting that just wants to be around it. He interacts with our players and coaches, but it was cool on Sunday. So we got back at probably 3 a.m. Saturday night after the road trip, And we had volleyball, as we've talked about, on Sunday. And so Brock had coordinated. He's actually coaching his daughter's third grade team.
Nice.
And so we had arranged for them to come out. They came out early, got a chance to go in the locker room and meet the team. There's probably some cool photos that we can put up on the show as well of Brock and his team interacting with the current team. And what's cool about our volleyball roster right now is there's so many Arizona kids on the team. And so when a group of 11 or 12 third graders playing volleyball here in the Valley can look up and see 4 or 5 current Sun Devils that grew up in the Valley, it's just nice that they can have that inspiration. And Brock shared that. He's like, hey, you are inspiring the third graders of today to go dream of playing at a college level. And so he's gracious with his time. It was really cool for him to interact and talk with the coaching staff and the players, but then for the players to interact with his daughter's team was super cool. So shout out to Brock for staying so close to the Sun Devils, and great to have him around some fun moments last weekend.
That's really special, and I think it's safe to say if his daughters have the height of Brock, watch out, right?
Yes.
They will be very good volleyball players.
That's true.
Indeed.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
Did a great job with the broadcast as well, both him and Dave.
He's very
Sloan.
good. Yeah, he's very good.
Excellent stuff. All right, well, that's about it for the show. Big thank you again to Mullett Arena for hosting us today, and Cullen Potter for joining the program. Big weekend to come, as we said. You got the open practice for hockey. You've got soccer on Friday, and then, of course, the big football game, 7:30 Saturday night against Texas State. Maroon Monsoon. If you're not here, that's a shame, but you can watch on TNT or stream it on Max. Graham, thanks a lot for joining us again today.
Hey, quick shout out, Scat made his NFL debut. Forgot to mention that in the first segment, but he's NFL official now, and great to see him just doing the things that he does on the field, right? Blocking, defending, getting the run, being a great teammate, and so really proud of Cam for what he's doing at the next level, and so glad he's got that opportunity.
Maybe it's just my Sun Devil sphere, but I haven't seen a blitz pickup shared more on social media than him getting that done against Washington on Sunday. You're exactly right. It would be remiss not to mention Cammy Scat. And it's going to be awesome to see him get the football a bit more, hopefully, in the future as well. All right, football coming up this weekend, bounce back weekend against Texas State. We will chat with you post Texas State and give you all you want to know about Sun Devil athletics. Talk to you then.